Alright folks, my name is Freyn and welcome to 5.3 America today. This is the M4A376. Playing this because my squad mate Martellus wanted to grind out America and he's got the M18 Black Cat, so that's an obvious choice for him. I'm not really a fan of driving the M18 on an urban map like this, so I've chosen to bring out the Sherman. Same gun, less mobility, but I'm never going to get up to a high speed, so for the most part my stabilizer will come in handy for those quick stop and shots. But I'm heading out to my usual spot out here on the ridge. Obviously this is a replay, so these markers would not normally be visible. Take this all in mind, etc. And there will be a few issues with things like reload timers and damage repair times, stuff like that. Now, first shot here, only hit the fuel and the loader on that T-34-85, but he burnt out before the second shot landed. Don't know if he quit out, if he had no FPE or whatever, but I feel kind of a bit bad about that one. I know how utterly frustrating it is to play without FPE. It's something I really wish Gaijin would change, but I doubt they ever will, unfortunately. But yeah, when you only get hit in the fuel and not even the engine, it really sucks, especially that close out of spawn. This map, one of the better ones in the game in my opinion, but that hill is such an imbalance. It allows you to completely shut down C. And that's just not really fair. But he was the only player I saw going out to sea, so I'm heading into town a little earlier than I have done most games on this map in the past few months, simply because there was so little activity over the lake. So I'm going to come, and the intent here is to sit, hold down on the cap, look out, maybe see if I can catch anyone trying to get back to B. Hold down will minimise my exposure, obviously only showing my turret. I've got good gun depression. The turret isn't spectacularly armoured, but it will reduce the chance that I'm going to get one shot, so it seems like the sensible thing right now. However, as I said before, I am in a squad and Martellus has just died to an AMX M4 to the north, so need to keep an eye out that way. He's not something I want to take on frontally. The French are of course known for mostly having very weak armour, but the M4's armour frontally is probably about equivalent to a Panther, so the US 76 is not going to go through the hole. The turret as well is kind of awkward. You've got a couple of overlapping plates there on the M4 that probably result in about 120, 125 mil if I remember right, which is very similar. Don't mind that shot there. Saw that little bit of concrete and thought it was a tank on an angle. It's happened before. I didn't want to take any chances, but yeah. Fortunately, the Centurion Mark III there has taken out the M4. I no longer have to worry about that. Side on, he would be an easy kill, but frontally, it's a bit awkward. There's not really a guarantee that it's going to go through. So shouldn't really be blazing away at the plane like that. I saw an opportunity while he was stalling and wanted to take it, but I should be keeping my gun down on the ground. I know they've just kept A, so I want to sit and watch for anything that's trying to leave it. There's the Panther. Martellus was so eager to get back to help, he almost blocked that shot there. Fortunately, I think I fired just in time that the game registered it and he didn't end up blocking it. The Panther's down. Something slipped across to the west. Turns out it was actually I think a 2.0 French tank, but obviously didn't know that at the time. I was a little concerned. So clip this IS-2 in the turret there, and he's backing away, so put another one through. The IS-1 is one that I find really difficult to take out with this gun. For whatever reason, it just does not take damage very easily, but the IS-2 is a little more reliable. And he's out, Martellus is repaired, so I'm going to head back into the west and try find whatever that was that slipped past. I don't want a tank roaming around either near our spawn or our back lines. He has to go. No idea what he is yet, but yeah, it's a threat that can't be allowed to have free reign on that side of the map. We've got C and B, we've got players up at C, which means they should be capable of covering B and the approach back into B. Again, I feel this side is a little at an advantage over the other one. There's less cover to head on to those cap points. And really, on either side here, holding C and B together is a great way to get you victory. It shuts down that complete area of the map, and the enemy can't obviously cope with just holding A. Oh, we've got a play of our own going into A. Most of our team's moved out this way. Normally I would want to keep someone at B, but as said, we have plenty of players covering there. Just take out the little French tanker. I now know exactly what it was, and it wasn't really a threat, but still better safe than sorry. Tiger out in the forest, no real damage. Definitely a tank to be aware of for the future. And you can see the M43 in front of me just died there, so not safe for me to get onto the cap from here. I'm just going to back up. Martellus is at the cap, he's in cover so he can take it. Gives him some spawn points as well, which he needs after that early death. The FV's taking fire, and we've got another one. It's a Waffentrager. He's got no barrel, he's got no turret crew, but he's going to get away. More likely to be able to get a whole shot there. I'm just trying to keep him under pressure so that he can't shoot anyone. Unfortunately, at this stage, we are losing C. It should be one of the easier points to hold, in my opinion. You've got clear sight on anything trying to get back up to you. It's pretty much an open field. Driving up there, there's not much chance for them to hide, but we are losing it, and that means we've no longer got sight over B. Our entire team is at A. Again, normally not a problem. If you've got control of C like that, you can prevent them from taking B, but now that we don't, we're losing B as well. And we're a good way ahead on tickets, but this isn't a situation you really want to be in. So while the Waffentrager repairs, I'm going to turn, drive back over to B. Let's hope I don't run into anything too big on the way. We've got a good ticket advantage right now, but not really got the tank advantage. In fact, I think far from it. Let's have a check. Yeah, you can see we're pretty far behind on the vehicles, and this was a bad time to come into the scoreboard. KV-122, fortunately not looking my way. Went for the lower plate shot. I actually wasn't sure it was the KV. I initially thought it was an IS-1, and the lower plate is the more reliable one there. I don't normally find the side of the turret to work with this gun. It should, but doesn't seem to go my way very often, so lower plate worked out in the end, and the upper plate would have as well, given it was a 122. Just catch a glimpse of that Lorraine there. Was hoping he would drive a bit further up and I could get a side shot, but it was unfortunately a Chaffee drove out behind me, caught his attention, and made him turn his tank. So, reasonably lucky to get away with that one there. The Lorraine, obviously, weaker armoured, unlike the M4, so one shot to the turret is enough to shut that down. But could have gone very badly after he turned his tank around like that and looked towards me. My ambush potential was gone. There's an AMX-13 up at C, who's just managed to pick off two players to the west of me in the town. Now essentially alone here. Just waiting for Martellus to get back to me before I make any move for B. I don't really want to go in on my own, especially while they've got a player at C. We need to maximise our chance of capping. So just waiting for backup. And we'll go back to what I was doing earlier of looking for anything driving out across the middle. It might be the odd tank trying to get to A and taking the a slightly less safe passage. There might be some players just trying to go straight down the middle to our spawn, who knows. And I'm also close enough to move to B if someone starts to cap it, and hopefully get them before they actually get control of the point. But backup is here, so hopefully we can now start putting some pressure on B, get that ticket bleed restarted. We've got a good ticket advantage, but as I said before, we're a little far behind on tanks. It's not really going to hold that advantage for forever. But just as we start moving, they are capping A, so I've decided instead I'm going to stay here, cover this. Martellus is going for B. Sorry, that's Steam beeping at me. I need to turn off those message sounds. Ignore the mouse. There's an ARL-44 crossing through. Not my greatest shot. Didn't manage to get anything important there, but second shot takes out the rest of his turret crew. Just slowly back into cover. They are on B as well. Martellus is engaging that. Just got Tiger that was capping, so that should halt B cap for now, and he can retake it. Again, I'm not really in need of any spawn points right now, so if any one of us is going to take it, of course we do need to get it as quickly as possible, but I'd rather he got the points. Staying in third person so I can see down that left road. But it's not needed, the ARL comes back out. I think mistakes the Achilles for me. He knew I was here otherwise, and it managed to finish him off. But Achilles still died, going for A. He died to an Ostwind. So I know there's an Ostwind there. I haven't seen any sign of anything else. Ostwind's the first target I see, so shoot him, get rid of him. We're getting A. Sorry, we're getting B, and we're about to make a push on C. Again, we don't need to go for A, but as far as I know, it's clear. I shouldn't really turn my turret while I look like that, but ultimately it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference there. Tiger was already aimed before I saw him, so yeah, there was no amount of stabilisation there was going to save me from that death. But we are getting further behind on players. The numbers are shifting more in their favour. We do have one cap, but that's not really going to be enough. We're getting a second. Hopefully that'll give us a bit of a time here. But back in the M4A2 now, it's the 5.0 Sherman. And initially I want to head back to A. I know there's several tanks there. Hopefully I can catch them while they're heading from A to B. Maybe get some side shots. But we are losing C. So let's take a quick look over. There's a KV-1 up there. Aim up. Just missed a little bit there. There's still an M18. Hopefully he will deal with the KV, but I want to try and lend him a hand if I can. Get that cap back under control. But KV's down, so it's back into town. And again, plan, go for those flanking shots when they're driving to B. Martellus is still there in his Sherman. Or was, having just been killed by a Tiger, so there's definitely a Tiger going to B. I've got two other players respawning behind me. And I'm not really quite sure on the best course of action here. We could split, could take, go one of us to B, try and defend that, and the rest go for A, or we could all really, really focus down and get control of A. In the end I decided we don't need it. We've got two caps, and again, as I said before, B and C is the better cap combination because you can overlook the B point from C, and to a reasonable extent vice versa. So I'm instead heading over to B, and the other guys are going for A. Other than that one Tiger, I've no idea what's going to be here. Let's take a quick look back towards A. It's a bit of a dangerous moment this, crossing that main road. Could be threats in any direction. I thought I saw something on that corner. FV422 going into A, so hopefully we'll get that under control. I'm just going to move up and yeah, go cover any approach to the B point. Hopefully if I can get across this street to the other side, I can see people driving back from their spawn. Should have been a bit more cautious, didn't see the ZSU until I'd already driven out. Placed my shot a little poorly, in one side of the turret, out the other, no damage. And yeah, lost my Sherman. ZSU's, I think his first shot hit my engine, set me on fire, preventing me from turning. We don't really have side armour. But I've got two choices for a respawn now, only the two remaining. You can see we're getting even lower and lower on the ground again. I didn't get anything with that spawn, which is effectively a wasted tank. Yeah, we're a long way behind, but back in the jumbo, it was this or the M18. Knowing we've at the very least got a ZSU 37 rolling around, I didn't want to be in the M18. It's too vulnerable. So I'm bringing the jumbo. I'm hopefully not going to encounter him from the side again. Be a little more cautious this time. It's only me and Martellus on the ground now. Him in an M19, me in the jumbo. Didn't actually spot that Puma up there. Sorry, pack wagon, not Puma. It's a lot easier to see, of course, in the replay where you've got marker tell you exactly where to look, but at the time I didn't notice him. We've lost every cap. And those tickets are dropping quite fast. They do speed up the longer the game goes on. And with only two of us on the ground to try and retake them, this is looking like a loss, and I was kind of regretting this spawn, really. I was thinking, why did I bother? We can't get this back. There's only 4 players left. Panzer 470 over there. Just going to make crossing this bit awkward. I've got to try and reduce my exposure time as I cross this, so narrow the angles down. Just managed to make it across. Yeah, Martellus being reduced to an M19 is not going to help him much. It's very limited options for what he can pen. So it essentially comes down to me to try and stall the ticket bleed long enough for us to just wipe out those last few tickets from the enemy. They've not got much left. You know, 5 kills maybe, or just a few seconds of cap domination would get us in the lead again. Or, well, finish the game rather. Whirlwind in my back, not the most pleasing occurrence, especially as I can't see him. But keeping my back to him is far safer than turning my side, so just take a second shot and then let's push, get the decap before I turn around. There's an AMX M4 up at C. I actually thought it was an FL10. Don't know why, just a very quick glimpse. So I want to try and get out of his line of sight. Focus on getting rid of this whirlwind. Very difficult with all the artillery smoke, but yeah. Go, chase him down, try not to let him get around my side. And then my hope is I can get to A. I don't want to fully cap B. It would slow the ticket bleed a little and a little faster perhaps, but I would like to get to A and then fully cap that. And then that'll that'll give us 1 cap each. And hopefully give me a chance to maybe pick off a few enemies and bring the game to an end. But things aren't looking good. I'm the only one on the ground now. I've got an Ostwind there. Got a Panzer 470, which I have no real way of penning. This FL10 in front of me. And Martellus has informed me that there was in total about 4 tanks around me, not including the whirlwind that just died. Now I can hear one behind me. And obviously my back is far more vulnerable than my front, but Panzer 470 poked slightly too far, so take him out. Now there's a Hetzer. This shot was actually intended for his barrel, no idea how that penned, even at point blank on a downwards angle. I would not expect that to go through. You can see the little pen marker there is on the corner of his upper plate. He was angled. I've honestly no idea what happened. But he's down. I survived that little tank onslaught there. And hopefully I can get to A. They've got 92 tickets left, so I don't need to hold the caps for long. Just enough. You know, a few seconds of cap control will be enough. But our tickets are getting really low, and I'm not even sure if by the time it takes me to fully cap A, if we'll have any left from them holding C that entire time. And now they've started recapping B as well, so it's pretty much looking like the game's over. I've done my best. We just lost 2 planes to the AMX M4 somehow. And this is looking like it's pretty much just over. But then 82 comes in, bombs the Whirlwind, they run out of tickets, and it's game over. We have won. But definitely not the result I expected, especially not towards the end there. Really worked hard for that one, 14 kills, and the games are just so much more fun when they're tense like that, when they're really right down to the wire. Obviously, would have been so frustrated if we'd lost in the end, given how far ahead we were on tickets for most of the game. But we pulled through, and it wasn't taken away by planes either. I didn't get bombed and denied those last few attempts to claw it back. So really happy with that game, and if I could have more like that, I don't think I would ever have any problems playing War Thunder again. But obviously still low behind the player with the air kill on the scoreboard, because guidance scoring system. But yeah, that's enough for one day, I think. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed playing that one. I'll see you next time.